Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Guys and gals, you know what I mean? Guys and all y'all people, all of y'all. You know that job you don't want to do? You know the one you know it has to be done, whether it's something at the house or maybe where you work. It's an important job. You know it has to be done. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyway because you're the person. And you understand. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about doing the job that has to be done. I'm in my 121 Bravo, which is a reward tier 10, a version of the 121. It's got a faster firing gun, so it's not the great big boomstick that the Chinese tier 10 has on the 121. It's a little bit more akin to the Russian mediums. So it's based on the Russian mediums. It's a little bit bigger. And it has a Russian medium-esque gun, fires faster. I like this tank. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not going to be at the top of anyone's list of greatest tier 10s. You're probably going to find players who say, "Don't waste your time on it, blah, blah, blah." You know what? They have a point. You know, if that's your thing, you just want to play the best of the best tanks, then yeah, you probably don't want to waste your time too much on the 121 Bravo. But I got it for bonds. I like that. I wish Wargaming would do a few more of those and switch them around a bit and let people have access to 907s and things that have been in the game for a while through bonds. That would be cool. And that's happening a little bit, so we'll see where that goes. But we're going to get back to doing the job that you know has to be done. Let's just pause us here on Prokhnalivkova, Sverogorsk, Pilsen. All right, we're on Malinovka. I hope most of you know that the hill is important. The critical terrain on most maps is the high percentage play. Period. End of story. That's how life works. I'm sorry if you think otherwise. You are incorrect. We can argue a little bit about what the critical terrain is, but I think it's pretty clear the critical terrain on this map is taking the hill. Does that mean it's the only way to win? I did not say that, did I? I did not say that. You can play low percentage plays. Sometimes the Hail Mary works, right? Sometimes if you shoot all threes in the basketball game, you win. All right, it's not a great example because don't they just always rain threes now? What is up with that? March Madness going on. And it's NBA centric. Everything is threes these days, right? Whatever happened to the low post bruiser? He's gone, man. That guy is gone. Let's get back to World of Tanks, all right? Come on. Get back to World of Tanks. The critical terrain, the high percentage play, in this case, is the hill. And I knew when I looked at the setup, I went, all right, yep, I need to get up there. I'm a fast medium with a pretty good gun and decent armor. And when I say get up there, somebody's got to lock down. See where I'm kind of pointing the camera right here? Somebody's got to lock down the mill. And that is the strong point. You get up to the mill, you hide behind it, you lock it down, you try to force the other team to not be able to come forward. We also have two Arty on each team. So I protect myself as much as I can from Arty, and I subject the people that I have locked down to Arty. So I get away with that, and now we've got a bunch of Arty up there, and I know it's going to start raining. And I also knew that it was going to be a while before my heavies get up here because they're just slower than I am. That was a bit of a mistake. I don't know if I get hit right there. Yeah. So these two sort of move up, and I'm a little bit surprised they don't tuck up into the mill, and then I start getting rained on by Arty. So there's the first hit, and it's just taking a while. There's the second hit, so I'm already down 700 hit points to Arty, even though I'm hiding pretty well. They've done a decent job. They're actually over in this area here, which allows them some better shots on me. So a couple of thinking men in Arty over there. I hate to say it, but there you go. The IS-7 now starts to move up. Now the IS-7 and the T-62 blew it. They needed to, at least one of them needed to be up against this mill so they could do what I'm doing, protect themselves from Arty, and be able to keep me lit. If they were up there, keep me lit. They would know when I was coming around. They would know when I'm maneuvering. They'd have a better idea of what everyone else is doing. I'm just going to make a big mistake here though, because I get hammered. Boom, boom. and screwed up. So I'm almost out of the game. That was a huge mistake. It was a side scrape I didn't need to make. I ate another bunch of damage from the... Actually, looks like I got tracked by the 53-55, stunned, and then hit by both the IS-7 and the T-62A. So despite going where I knew I had to go, right? I'm doing the job I knew I had to do. Even though I really didn't want to be up here, I knew I was going to be fighting a bunch of their tanks up here with a medium. But I got up here and locked this down, right? A job that had to be done. And then I made a mistake there, an overexposure, all right? So you can go to the right place and try to do the right thing and still screw up the micro stuff within that position. So I'm sort of hurting. I'm going to have to wait till I can come out and get a shot without any kind of danger. But now here comes the arty, and this is what I'm talking about. If you don't have somebody up against the mill, keeping all of us honest over here, these guys are all taking hold down sniper shots as opposed to, and that's the other thing about this mill. If you're close enough here, then these relative hold down positions, these guys, and I'm talking about if the purple come up against this mill, they get better shots when they pop out. Right now everyone's shooting at top of holes and turrets because they're both in kind of low ground right there. This is also the high ground and gives me a little bit better shot in here. Of course, it gives them a better shot at me. Things like that. So I'm able to sneak one into him. Although he over-angled for the pike nose. He'd have done a lot better if he'd have gone straight away. So now I'm waiting for the T-62 to do that. He takes a shot, gives me an opportunity. I get a bounce. That's not too surprising. I'm firing heat at a highly angled upper turret. And now our guys have gone around him. Okay? So we anchor the mill. We get enough guys back here to keep these dudes honest. They don't come up. They don't take the low ground. We move through the low ground, and we've got them flanked. And this is a classic way to beat the other team up here. And the only way for them to stop it is to get up into this mill and punish all of these guys. From the other spawn, all right, from the north spawn, we'll call it north spawn, if you can get up to the mill with a powerful force, you have an advantage over guys trying to be hold down right here. You really do. It's the better side overall, but it's a longer drive to get up here, and people don't like getting punished making the crossing. They don't like that, which is why I come up here and do the job that has to be done. I'm up here punishing them, and they see how they all stopped? I mean, they had plenty of power to push in. Probably could have taken me out before my team even really got there. But you know what? The thing is, the player base is very passive. They really are at times. So you can force these issues in a lot of cases. The low takes a shot, so that gives me an opportunity to pop out. I don't want to give him a reload, so I'll just back out. And down he goes. All right. One of the reasons I was using this side of the mill was to avoid the arty shots. You can see our guys are filtering through, so I think the arty's probably pretty worried. We're winning pretty well now, 6-1. We cleaned up the hill. Critical terrain is taken. It's over. The arty would have done a really a good service to their team to try to splash me out a little bit, but they had such juicy targets back here and probably over here when the flanks started happening that they started paying attention to them and not me. So that was a real team effort right there. I'm gonna just hide from arty. I don't want to telegraph any direction I'm coming out. We'll just kind of wait here and see what they do. I mean, I'm overweighting here. I just don't want to get sniped by the arty. So that works, and we'll get on trucking. I'm not even going to knock the fences over in case they're looking. We'll just go around the fences, give them no SA as to where I'm going. And we'll come down here. And now, since I'm on such low hit points because of my mistake earlier, I've removed some of my votes for the end game. So I'm going to have to be a little more careful than I'd really like to be. I wish I had a couple more hits to give because I could rage down there and then just start gathering up spotting damage. Still, though, there's some good hitters back there. There's the WT. The AC-48's an autoloader. The Ferdinand hits hard. The 4202 fires quickly. There's two arty. I mean, there's just a lot. I almost killed myself on that. That was almost a mistake. There's still a lot of damage dealing potential on the enemy team. It's highly unlikely they're going to come back and win, but they can certainly delete a 431 hit point medium that's being a little too over-aggressive endgame, / somebody who did not preserve enough of his own votes. 703 version 2 is going in, followed up by the 122 TM. That's going to allow me just to sort of creep in behind. One thing I'm doing in this situation, obviously looking for this guy to shoot, but I'm also paying attention to what damage is being taken by the guys that are pushing. I can give you a little bit of SA as to how many guys have seen him and win. So that 703 got hit a bunch of times, so he got to right there. More than likely it was the AC-48 that saw him first. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on this. The zoom time or the aim time on this gun is a little bit bad. It takes quite a long time. If you're on a no kidding reload, you should have enough time to get zoomed in. Let's see if we can get a little shot into the side of the weak spot of that turret right there on 4202. So if you've just fired and you're waiting for reload and you don't have to move, then you're probably going to be zoomed in no problem. But the soft stats on it aren't too great. It's not exactly the laser accurate Russian gun, but it is pretty close. I quite like this tank. It's a lot of fun. Not quite as good as the other hover mediums on the Russian side, but it does approach them. It is pretty unique. I do 2,496. Not an amazing game, only 15 assists. But as I was saying from the beginning of this video, this was more about going to the place that needed to be got to, right? I had to get there the fastest with the mostest, all right? And that's an understanding on each map on what those positions are. Now, you can certainly overextend. If I went raging up that hill and started to crest getting into that mill, and I realized that my WZ-111, E-75, and the other guys that were following me stopped way down there, I need to 180 and get out of there, all right? So that's a case of, yes, I know that that's a critical terrain and we need to grab the mill, but if no one's going to follow me up, why go up there and just die alone, right? That's a thing I continually have to try to learn and work on because I can be extremely aggressive. So pay attention to what people are doing. Understand those positions, but then pay attention to your team and be able to fight the game or the match and not the meta. All right? Yep, meta's a good plan. Go with that initially. If you have a reason to deviate from it, make it a good reason and then execute well. Typically, you want a platoon to do things like that. Going away from the meta solo is much more dangerous than going away from the meta with a platoon. With a good coordinated platoon, you can change a lot of things in a match. You can really change meta in the match with 3 tanks working together. It's much harder to do as a solo player. But try to play the match, not the meta, but the meta informs, at least initially, especially initially, what you're doing. All right, let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all I've got for today. Have a good day. We will see you.